الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم وفي الحديث عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا عدوى ولا طيرة ولا هامة ولا سفر وفر من المجذوم كما تفر من الأسد أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام صدق الله مولانا العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Most respected ulama, elders, beloved brothers, this is a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that I have recited. And in this hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Nabi alayhi salatu wasallam negates some pagan beliefs. These were the beliefs that were found in the days of Jahiliyyah. So Nabi alayhi salatu wasallam refutes and negates these beliefs totally. That these beliefs are non-existent in our deen, they are non-existent in Islam. In the hadith of Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala, where he says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reported to have said, La adwa, there is no such a thing as contagiousness in diseases. That today many people believe that there is contagiousness in diseases. One child is sick in the home and perhaps the child got a flu, or an adult is sick in the home and the adult got a flu. Now everyone in the home is fearing, no, don't go by that child. Why? Because that child got that illness. So by coming near the child, you're also going to contract that particular disease. Nabi alayhi salam says there is no such a thing whatsoever. Many people in the COVID period, how many people were fearing, to the extent we ran away from the masjid also. And those that came to the masjid, then there was social distancing in the masjid. Where is such a thing as social distancing in Islam? There were plagues that took place in the time of Nabi alayhi salam, after Nabi alayhi salam as well. But never was there social distance in the ummah. And never was a time where the ummah was performing salah with the mask on their face. How many people used the mask? How many never came out of their homes also? For months, some never see the masjid for 1 to 2 years, they never saw the masjid. But if Allah Ta'ala's decree is there that the person must pass away, whether you use the precaution or you don't use the precaution, a person is going to leave the world. The Jews, they used to say, Nahnu abna'ullah wa ahibba'u. We are the children of Allah. We are the beloveds of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala says, Qul ya ayyuhalladhina hadu, O Jews, in za'amtum annakum awliya'u lillah. If you claim that you are the friends of Allah, in za'amtum annakum awliya'u lillah min dunin nas, not other people. You the beloveds of Allah, you the friends of Allah. Then what you should do, فَتَمَنَّوُ الْمَوْتِ, desire death, in kuntum صَادِقِينَ. If you are truthful in this claim that you are the beloved of Allah. Allah says, وَلَا يَتَمَنَّوْنَهُ أَبَدًا بِمَا قَدَّمَتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ. They will never desire death, these Jews, because of what their hands have sent forth, meaning because of their actions, they will never desire death. Then Allah instructs Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Qul innal mawt alladhi tafirruna min." That tell them, O Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this maut, this death that you're running away from, that in the COVID period we never came out, not coming to the masjid. What's the reason? That death mustn't catch me. I want to run away from death. So this death that you're running away from, فَإِنَّهُ مُلَاقِيكُم. This is going to reach you. Wherever you're going to be, it's going to come to you. فَإِنَّهُ مُلَاقِيكُم. ثُمَّ تُرَدُّونَ إِلَىٰ عَالِمِ الْغَيْبِ وَالشَّهَادَةِ. Then you're going to be returned to that being that has the knowledge of the seen also, of the unseen also. Allah knows what is happening in the unseen. Allah knows what is in the seen. For us, there's a difference between seeing and unseen. For Allah, everything is equal. فَيُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. Then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will inform you of what you people used to do. So we find that there is no such a thing as contagiousness in diseases. In the days of Jahiliyyah, the physicians in those times, they used to believe there are approximately 7 diseases that are contagious. One is plague. When there is a plague, it is contagious. That was the belief of the physicians of that time. They also believed that leprosy is contagious. They believed that if there was pain in the eyes, like in today's time we have the pink eye. So a person's got pain in the eye, and you make eye contact with that person. A person has got pain in the eye, you make eye contact with that person, or you come into contact with that person, your eyes, consequently, your eyes are going to start paining. So they believed in these things, that these things are contagious. What the physicians say, that is based on their experience. What the doctors say, it is based on their experience. We don't dispute with them in this matter. But we need to look at everything in accordance with Sharia. What Allah and His Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is saying. And whatever Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, Allah's Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, that will supersede everything in the world. Because that is 100% accurate. Doctors today, they make a research. After 1 year, they say, no, there was an error in that research. This is the new research now. But what Allah and His Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam say, that is 100% accurate. There's no error whatsoever in the system of Allah and His Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. One Sahabi, he came to Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and the Sahabi tells Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, that we have camels. We are people, we are Bedouins, we have camels in the jungle. Now many a time we notice that a camel of ours, it is so healthy. Our camel is so well, it is like a buck. And the buck, we know that is a very powerful animal. It runs very, very fast. And how beautiful is the skin of the buck also. So he similarized it to a buck, that it is so beautiful also, it is so healthy also. But we find that when this camel comes in contact with other animals that have scabies, then we find that also all our animals become sick. So isn't there contagiousness in diseases? So Nabi alayhi salam asked him one question. He said, Faman Adal Awwal, the first animal that got sick, who gave that animal the illness? Where did that illness come? In the world we'll say that the COVID spread throughout the world. But the first man that got COVID, where did he get COVID from? Where did it start from? This came from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So really there is no contagiousness in diseases. Logically also, if we have to really analyze the whole thing and we have to look at it, in one home there are 7 people that are living in the home. In that home of 7 people, 1 person became COVID. Now the remaining 6 are still interacting with that 1 person. So maybe the second person also became COVID. Maybe a third person also. But there are still 4 people in the home. Nothing happened to the 4 people. And if we say there's contagiousness in diseases, then all 7 supposed to become ill. There was one elderly lady. She was over 90 years old. And she was, mashallah, very healthy. Her son was COVID. Her daughter was COVID. Now they in the same home. The daughter is in that home. The son came to that home. So the son is there, the daughter is there. And she called another daughter from another place, from another town, that you come make khidmat, take care of your brother, take care of your sister. That lady came from her town, she stayed here. And she made khidmat of them. No mask in the home, she's interacting with them all the time. But at the end, nothing happened to her whatsoever. The elderly woman that is in the home, nothing happened to her whatsoever. So even if we look at it logically, all supposed to contract that disease, but nothing happened. Allah, this is from Allah Ta'ala. The illness is also from Allah. The cure also is from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Yes, there are ahadith of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It is mentioned on one particular occasion. The delegation of Banu Thaqif, Kana min wafdi Bani Thaqifin rajulun madhum, that there was a person with leprosy that came from the delegation of Banu Thaqif. This tribe came to Madinatul Munawwara, and they came to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam to pledge allegiance at the hands of Nabi alayhi salam. When you take bath, when you pledge allegiance, you put your hand into the hand of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So this man had leprosy. So when he came to Medina Sharif to pledge allegiance, when it was his turn to come and put his hand in the hand of Nabi alayhi salam, فَأَرْسَلَ إِلَيْهِ النَّبِيُّ صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم إِنَّا بَايَعْنَاهُ فَرْجِعْ. Nabi alayhi salam sent somebody to go and inform him that we made you bay'ah. We have already pledged allegiance to you. There's no need for you to come and put your hand into my hand. So therefore you return, go back now to your locality. The bay'ah has been completed, the allegiance has been completed. And in another narration it comes that when Nabi alayhi salam said, "Firra min al-madhum kama tafirru min al-asad," that run away from a person that is a leper, run away from him, just as you run away from a lion. Meaning when you see a lion, how you fear your life and you run from a lion. Similarly, run away from a person that is a leper. Now, if you have to look at the narrations, there seems like there's contradiction between the narrations. On one side, Nabi alayhi salam is saying, La adwa, there is no contagiousness in diseases whatsoever. This was a pagan belief. And on the other side, what is Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam saying? That run away from the lion, like you run away from a leper. Nabi alayhi salam did not allow that person to put his hand into the hand of Nabi alayhi salam. So they seem like there's contradiction. So Allah Ta'ala reward our commentators of hadith, that how they reconcile between ahadith, how they taught ahadith to us, what understanding they had of ahadith, the fuqaha, the jurists, what understanding they had of fiqh. Hafiz ibn Hajar Asqalani rahmatullahi, he reconciles between these two ahadith. And what does he say? He says the hadith where Nabi alayhi salam says there is no contagiousness in diseases. 100% this hadith is in its place. And it is general that there is no such thing as contagiousness in diseases in our sharia and in our deen. But he says, as for the other ahadith, when Nabi alayhi salam said, run away from the leper, he didn't allow the man to put his hand into his hand. He says that this was to protect the iman and the aqidah of people. For example, a man, he goes into the company of a person that has leprosy. He is perfectly fit, perfectly healthy. But you went and you sat with the person that got leprosy. Or a man that is COVID, you went and sat with the man that was COVID. Now after you sat with that person, you got up and you walked away. 1 week later, you are now COVID. Or 1 week later, now you get leprosy. What we're going to say, if I never go to that person's house, then I wouldn't have been COVID. If I didn't sit with the leper, then I wouldn't have got the illness of leprosy. So what happens? You're now spoiling your aqidah. You're destroying your aqidah. Instead of attributing it came from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, you're saying another person did this. So all these thoughts are going to run through the mind of a person. So therefore Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, to protect the aqidah of people, you don't come in contact with these people, otherwise your aqidah is going to be spoiled. One person, one friend of mine is an alim of deen also. At that time when it was a COVID period, at that time he traveled to another country. When he went to the country, he came back, he was healthy. When he came back, he was now COVID. When he was COVID, and I went to meet him, he told me, you sit on that side of the room, I'm not coming near you. I said, no problem, we'll sit wherever you tell us to sit. Our maqsad and our objective of coming here is to just make your ziyarat, your iyadat to come and visit you because you are ill. So then what he tells me, he says, see, when I was at the airport, there was a lady that was standing in front of me. And the lady turned around and she sneezed. When she sneezed on me, that is why I became COVID. Now, how can that sneeze bring COVID to you? This is the decision of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. When the iman, when the tawakkul of a person is now complete, his trust on Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is complete, then a person can sit with the leper also, he can sit with the person that is COVID also. It will not interfere with his aqidah. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam on one occasion, he proved this to us. Because the tawakkul and the trust of Nabi Alayhi Salam was 100%. There was no deficiency in his trust in Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Nabi Alayhi Salam held the hand of a leper. And he brought that leper and he put his hand into the bowl, fil qas'a. He put his hand into the bowl with the leper. In other words, both of them put their hand together into the same bowl. And both of them ate. Nabi alayhi salam also ate and the leper also ate. And Nabi alayhi salam told him, Kul thiqatan billah wa tawakkulan alayh. That eat, putting your trust in Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Putting your tawakkul upon Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Eat together. No harm is going to come to you whatsoever. Today, unfortunately, somebody is sick. There must be a separate teaspoon for that person also. There must be a separate plate for that person. There must be a separate glass for that person. Whereas we don't believe in this. Whereas it is mentioned, Surul Mu'min, Shifa'ul Mu'min. The leftover of a mu'min and the leftover of a believer, that is shifa for another mu'min. Somebody drank half a glass of water. The water was still kept there. You drink that water that was left over from another mu'min. That is shifa. That is cure for you that you drank from there. Person, you eat food with him in the same plate. So much of barakah in that food. Just this week, one person, he came with his family from another town. So they came here to the iftar department and he was saying that we got problems in the family. So I prescribed, I told him, try certain things. Inshallah, your problem will be sorted out. So then the husband turns around and he tells me, he says that, tell me, if husband and wife, we got so much of this unity, if we eat in one plate, wouldn't there be barakat in that? Wouldn't Allah Ta'ala put happiness in our life? I said, definitely, there will be so much of barakah. That is why it is mentioned, we are taught, that when people are eating together in one plate, then eat from your side, don't eat from the middle. Why don't eat from the middle? Why eat from your side? The rahmat of Allah is descending in the middle. So therefore you eat from your side, don't move the rahmat of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala from the food that is in the middle. When a child is born, what do? The first thing we do, we go to some alim, some pious person. We take a kajur, we take a date with us. this is the sunnah of Nabi alayhi salam. Let that pious person put the date into his mouth and he will chew that date. And after chewing the date, we will take a small portion of that date and we'll stick it into the mouth of that newly born baby on the pellet. Why? So that piety of that pious person, this will now transfer into the child also. So we believe in barakah. We don't believe in this thing of contagiousness in diseases. There was a time where in our homes we ate in one plate. There was a time where we drank water in the same glass. There was a time where in one room, 3 and 4 children slept in one room. And there was a time where only one man in the house worked, but the whole house was eating. And so much of barakah, the guests also used to come. They used to eat in that room also. Today, everything is reversed. When we reversed everything, we stopped eating together. Now every child wants his own room, and his room door must be locked. What he's doing in the room, that only Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala knows. So when we stop eating together, drinking together, every child in his own room, every person in the house is working, but in the end of the month, we all fighting. There's not enough money. Here we don't have sufficient for this expense, and we don't have sufficient for that expense. When we moved away from the sunnah of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, see what is the consequence and the result. So this is the first thing Nabi alayhi salam says, La adwa. There is no contagiousness in diseases whatsoever. The second belief that Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam negated, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Wala tiyara. There is no such a thing as bad luck in our deen and bad luck in our Islam. This was a belief of the kuffar, of the mushrikeen. They believe that there's such a thing as bad luck. Today, for us, there is no such a thing as bad luck. We are mu'mineen, we are muwahhids. We believe in the oneness of Allah Ta'ala. Whatever happens in our life, whether good or bad, everything comes directly from Allah wa Ta'ala. Today a person is driving and a cat has to run across the road. What happened? Person said, no, now maybe I'm going to meet in an accident. Why the cat ran across the road? The cat ran across the road, maybe there's a mouse on the other side. It's going to catch the mouse. So it ran across the road. But what we thinking now, there's going to be accident in front. Or the cat is crying at night. So in the morning what we say, we're going to get the news, somebody passed away. What's the crying of the cat got to do with life and death? This is a matter that is in the hands of Allah wa Ta'ala. Yet we believing that the cat cried at night, so somebody is going to pass away in the morning. And Allah save us, what beliefs we have. People believe that Friday, the 13th, if Friday has to be the 13th of the month, then that is a bad luck. Friday, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has taught us that the best day in the world is the day of Jumu'ah. This is the day wear your best of clothing. This is the day that eat the best of food on the day of Jumu'ah. But we are saying that when it's the 13th, then that is the day of bad luck, Friday the 13th. And today they've gone one step further. For business they call it Black Friday. This is the day of Noor. Look at the masjid, how full the masjid is. And look how beautifully everybody is dressed properly also. But we are saying that this is Black Friday. There is no such a thing in our deen. Today we have our aqidah, our belief has gone so low, that a person, he goes to the fortune teller also. I hope there's no more fortune tellers. But there was a time where these gypsies used to be parked on the road. People are going there to read their fortune. Those people, if they knew about fortune, they shouldn't have been sitting there. They should have been the most fortunate people. But they don't know their fortune, where they're going to read your fortune for you. Many people, these herbalists, they say we got so many jinnat under us and we can cure you. Whatever problem you got, you come to us, we will cure your problem for you. Whether you got a sexual problem, we will sort it out. You got a domestic problem, we will sort out your domestic problem. Your money will double it. In no time we will double your money. You come to us. Once I was driving to Indonesia. When I came to the rowboat, I stopped. So there was one person, he was distributing his pamphlet. Now the same pamphlet, he's written all that he trained in the ocean and he trained here and he can do this and he can do that. I told him, Sheikh, don't speak lies, man. You can't do anything. You know you can't do it. It's Allah Ta'ala that does everything. You can't do anything. So in the end, what did he tell me? He said, Sheikh, we need money. What else can we do? When we need money, we do these things. One lady in Johannesburg, there was a lady, 800,000 she had. And she called one of these herbalists. So they bluffed her. They told her, we're going to double your money for you. And she believed them. She called them. She gave them the whole bag of money. Where was it? Hardly maybe half an hour, whatever. And he's gone with the money. The whole bag was gone. Never to see that man ever again. So the money also was gone over there. One lady, she took all the jewelry. And she took the jewelry of the ladies of the town. And she went to these people. And Allah knows what they were doing in that pot also, stirring that pot. And she gave everything to that person. And they also, everything was lost. So today we have gone to this extent that we're going to these people. We're losing our iman over here. Today a person is sick. We're going to the Sangoma and we're asking the Sangoma for help. Where a person goes to the Sangoma, he's asking them for help. they are involved in kufr, they are involved in shirk. We're losing our iman. After that we're reading salah, our salah is not valid. We're fasting in Ramadan, our fast is not valid. Whatever ibadat we do after that, it is not valid. The nikah, a man goes to the sangoma, his nikah between him and his wife has broken, he has to read kalima again. If he performed hajj, he has to perform that hajj all over again. Or everything becomes invalid. Why? Because the person, he went to the sangoma. One person, he went to an amil, and this was a Muslim amil, Maulana also. He went to the Maulana, he told the Maulana that he's got a problem, and he had a problem that he thought that he got a heart problem. If he walks maybe from here to the door, he's tired. But so the doctors told him, but we don't see a heart problem. So he said, all right, let's go see this amil. So he went to the amil. When he went to the amil told him, don't worry, I'll sort it out. He wrote the taweez. When he wrote the taweez, he gave the taweez to him. So this person, he was a Maulana also. So he said, no, I want to see what's inside the taweez. Whereas the masla of deen in regards to a taweez is, if you don't know the meaning of what is in the taweez, it's not permissible to use the taweez. You have to know what is written in the taweez. So he said, open the taweez. I want to see what is written in the taweez. When he opened the taweez, what's written there? Jogi Jepal. Who's the Jogi Jepal? He's the guru of the Hindus. So now we're taking help from the guru of the Hindus. So this Maulana is telling that amil now, he said, this is kufr. What you are doing is kufr. You are giving me a taweez of Jogi Jepal. He said, Maulana, use it, don't worry, your problem will be sorted out. The Maulana said, I rather die. I'll die with my iman, but I'll never use the taweez of a Hindu. Today we are going to these amils. Today we're going, there are genuine amils also. Let me also say this, but there are just a handful of them. One amil, he used to go to one particular businessman, very wealthy businessman. And this businessman, where he used to go, he used to take out things from under the ground. Every time he goes, he digs it out. Now that person is thinking, jadoo, all the time there's jadoo over here. Later on he found out that this is the same man that's coming here and he's planting it. And then he comes after a few days, then he digs it out and he says there's jadoo. But he's extorting money from that particular person. One amil, one family person, he had a problem. He had a serious problem. He was ill for some time. So somebody told him one amil has come. He's a businessman, wealthy businessman. And he had about 3 businesses. So somebody told him that this amil has come. So he phoned me, he told me, you know what, I want you to go with this amil to all my businesses. So I said, no problem, I'll go with him. So I went with the amil, he went to the first business. When he went there, he walked around everywhere and he says, no, there's nothing wrong with this business. This business, there may be a little bit of stealing taking place over here. So I said, no, maybe he's a genuine man, because he said there's nothing wrong. So we went to the second business. When we went to the second business, they also, he walked around, he said there's nothing over here. I said, no, this is genuine, because he's speaking the truth, looks like. We went to the third business. When we went there, the problem was actually, the fear, why he had all this fear was in that business. Every morning when he's coming to his shop, he's finding ashes outside. Outside the door, there is ashes every morning. So he was worried, what is somebody burning outside my shop? So we went to that business. So I made a mistake and I told him beforehand. I told him that, did he tell you that there's a problem in this business? So he said, there's a problem here. So I said, yes, there's a problem here, looks like. So he picked up a packet of rice or beans. When he picked it up, he said, oh, he put it down. He said, oh no, very big problem over here. So I said, this man, he can't be speaking the truth. Because I told him I should have kept quiet and then seen then what he has to say. So see how many people like this, they are just taken for a ride and we believe everything also. Whereas Allah has given us Quran Sharif. Allah Ta'ala has given us Ayatul Kursi. Allah Ta'ala has given us Surah Falaq and Surah Nas. The greatest jadoo was done to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam by the Jews, who were the experts of jadoo. But at that time, Allah revealed 2 surahs of the Quran. Read Surah Falaq, read Surah Nas. Today we're not reading Quran Sharif. Our namazes are not up to date. Here in our homes, we got television playing on one side. And opposite the television, Allah's name is written there, Allah. Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Ayatul Kursi. There's positive coming out from here. Negative, from the television, there's negative coming out. And from Allah's name, there's positive coming out. If these two are not going to clash, and we don't have problems in our life, what else are we going to get in our life? When we go to the bathroom, we go to the toilet to relieve ourselves. Hadith of Nabi alayhi salam, فَلَا تَسْتَقْبِلُوا الْقِبْلَةَ وَلَا تَسْتَدْبِرُوهَا. Don't face in the direction of the Qibla. Front ways also. With your back also, don't face in the direction of Qibla. When Allah's name, Quran Sharif is in a room, and television and all the haram is playing in that room, then are we not going to have calamities in our life? Now you can go amil to amil, Maulana to Maulana. The problem is not going to be solved. Make tawbah to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Just sort your life out. Come back onto deen, and you'll see how everything will be sorted out. I'll finish on this. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam mentioned in one hadith, at-tiyaratu shirkun, that for a person to believe in bad luck, this is shirk. A person has ascribed partners with Allah. قَالَهُ ثَلَاثًا 3 times Nabi alayhi Islam mentioned that to believe in bad luck, this is shirk. Hazrat Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala says, وَمَا مِنَّا إِلَّا وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يُذْهِبُهُ بِالتَّوَكُّلِ. There was no person amongst us that he had this belief of bad luck, except Allah ta'ala would remove it with tawakkul. Meaning that a person wants to undertake a journey, and now he saw that cat, now he's scaring, must I undertake the journey or shouldn't I undertake the journey? Why? Because the cat has run across. As Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala says that don't worry about that cat. Don't worry about this bad luck. Put your trust in Allah. Undertake that journey of yours. You want to open a shop. Somebody says don't open the shop. There's bad luck in the shop. 20 people came before you. They opened this business and all of them have miserably failed. Don't open the shop. Abdullah bin Mas'ud says at that time you make your istikhara. You make mashwara and seek help from Allah. If everything seems clear, put your trust in Allah. Open that shop and continue. And see how Allah will give you barakat in that shop. So here Nabi alayhi Islam negates it, that these are the practices of the pagan people, of the polytheists, of the mushrikeen, that we don't believe in such a thing as bad luck and such a thing as contagiousness in diseases. There's 2 more things. One is wala hamma, wala safar. There's no time to explain, but the ending of the hadith, Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam says there's no bad luck in this month of Safar. This month of Safar, many people believe this is a month of bad luck. Mustn't make nikah in this month because this is a month of bad luck. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam says there is no such a thing as bad luck in the month of Safar also. We believe in the oneness of Allah, and whatever problems we have in our life, according to Quran, according to Sunnah, we will sort out all our problems. Never ever frequent any of these sangomas or these herbalists or whatever. We will lose our iman also. Allah Ta'ala give us all tawfiq.